More proof that liberals don't care about you, the tax-paying American citizen. Democrat-run New York City shutting down an entire school and forcing kids to learn remotely today, just so they can house 2,000 illegals from a storm. The migrant move infuriating the hell out of parents.
Why at the cost of our children? Why at the health of our children? Because we're bringing the kids back and we're not sure what was used, what was sanitized. There's drugs, there are knives, there are needles, there's guns.
One of the teachers didn't show up. She said good morning, gave him on the sign, and said goodbye.
It is very disruptive when you come and take over our school. And it's not even fair to the migrants as well. We told you that this is not sustainable and we need a better sustainable plan.
Dana, can you get more of a cause and effect?
Here, I'll tell you what the sustainable plan is. Send them back. There you go. But, you know, some of these folks are so lost in the sauce, man. I don't know. I don't know about some folks, man. You know, I really don't. I'm just like, what happened to society, bro? What happened? Like, how can you be so lost in the sauce that even while facing the issue, it's literally on your freaking doorstep. Literally, it's right there in front of you. Your kids are being taken out of school and sent home to house people that aren't even Americans in a building that you helped to fund, that you helped to pay for via your taxes. They're taking your kids out of that school, sending them back home, potentially putting your job at risk. Because I'm sure a lot of these folks didn't plan for this. Didn't plan for that. A lot of folks living paycheck to paycheck. They can't afford to miss a day of work. Who gonna take care of the kids now that they're at home? What, now you gotta pay for daycare? Well, that's another expense. Or you gotta stay home? Well, now you're losing money. It's a catch-22. You lose and you lose. You stay home, you losing money. You send them to daycare, you're still losing money. Right? When they should have been in school because that's what you paid for already. And then she had the nerve to say, oh, well, it's not even fair to the migrants. Some people, man, lost in the sauce, just lost in it.
Of liberal policies, you take outside burdens as a policy that you cannot handle, and who suffers? The actual citizens. This is the welfare state in a nutshell.
They're going to push people to a point where, whereas was it 7 or 8 years ago when President Trump was first in office, people were outraged at the idea of any sort of deportation. Mm-hmm. They're going to push people who might have said that Trump was in the wrong to the point where they're saying, yeah, out without any sort of hearing, because this is getting to be outrageous. We already know that remote learning was a disaster for tax-paying citizens' children, and now this happened again. Plus, the other thing is that this community told the mayor that it wasn't going to work in this area just because when the bad weather comes, there's a lot of wind there, it soaks up all the water, and they had to go and get the migrants and pull them out of there at 4:30 in the morning. So if you feel bad for the migrants, you'd feel bad for them in that regard. It is a total mess, and if you want to turn a blue state red, this is how you do it.
You know, Jesse, it's the weather. I blame climate change.
They will.
Yeah. It's climate change.
I know. I can't believe it. I can't believe these people like Nancy Pelosi keep saying they care about the kids, Greg, because I'm sick of it. No one cares about the kids.
No one.
You inject them with poisonous, sugary chemicals all day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They're trafficking children all over the world. They're calling it a conspiracy. We take kids out of school for 2 years just so a few teachers could avoid a virus. And then we're going to take them out again because migrants want to come in, while New York has 50% of the office space unoccupied. Why don't they put these migrants in one of these beautiful towers where there's showers instead of sticking in a school with kids? Fauci says that they didn't really lose any learning during the 2 years. So he's still in denial. And Biden's never going to be asked about it. And if he is asked about it, he's going to say, what? He's always pretending like he can't hear. He's like, what? He's just trying to buy time. And then Adams is, he's got this looming indictment, so he's scared out of his mind to do anything about it. It's like they are literally, Greg,
Literally.
replacing American kids. This is not a theory, Jessica, and it's not. I don't know. I mean,
saw a
call it what it
voting booth
is.
in a tent city the other day.
Excuse me?
I saw a voting booth in a tent city the other day.
Probably, and I know they're going blue.
Judge, what do you make of this? I mean, obviously, terrible weather. You don't want people out in the cold.
Yeah, and that's the point.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, look, I think anybody who watches this show or knows how I feel about immigration, these are illegal aliens, okay? But you have to have a heart. I mean, you know, yesterday, the weather was horrible. It's apparently for one day. But who's kidding who, Greg? The truth is, these kids are going to end up in our schools anyway. It's just a question of where. They're going to end up in our hospitals. We're going to end up paying for their rent and everything else. So, and by the way, Fauci is a liar. He's not in denial. He's a liar. He's not convinced that the learning loss that our kids suffered was a result of school closures. That is Democrat ideology, okay? It is school closures. But the thing that makes it so obvious where our kids are always paying the price is American kids, when they want to go to that school, they have to scan an ID. An illegal doesn't have to scan an ID. 2,000 of them don't have to scan an ID going into that school. And if you come into this country, and you don't have to be tested for COVID, but Americans had to be tested. We had to take a vaccine. Illegals don't have to take a vaccine.
Facts.
Why is it that Americans are taking a second seat to the illegals? And why are they traveling?
I'll tell you why. Because nobody's standing up. That's why. And so, you know, my thing is, I just don't understand how some of these Democrats can stand behind it or see this happening and still stand behind Democrats, right? And still support Democrats. Like, it's right there in your face. Like, this isn't just a right-wing talking point, like right-wing extremists, you know, creating some conspiracy theory. You are watching it happen. Now, I've got a clip from The Breakfast Club and Charlemagne the God, who we've checked out previously in previous videos, but I just want you to hear. I can't play the actual video for you, but I can play you guys can hear the audio. I can't show you the video, I should say, but you can hear the audio for this. When you have individuals like this finally speaking up about it, I think you got a problem, Democrats. Check it out.
So what they doing? They're sending all the high school kids to another school? Let me get that straight.
No, remote learning. They got to do it from the crib.
So they got to do it from home.
They got to do it from home.
Yep. Now, see, when I hear stories like that, it makes you say, build the wall. When I hear stories like that, it makes you say America first. That's why that rhetoric that somebody like a Trump spews or other Republicans spews, that's why it's effective. Because why do these kids have to be inconvenienced because of the migrants? Middle of the school year, you just going to tell the kids, stay home? No, find someplace else for the migrants. How is that okay?
I was going to say that too. I was like, out of every place we could put the migrants, it has to be in schools. There's not any place else we could put them. And no disrespect, but they find money for everything else. We can't find money for motels, hotels, to rent gyms, gymnasiums, the Jacob Javits Center and all these big buildings. They find money for everything else, but you're going to take these kids out of school. And no disrespect, I think any parent knows that when you have to do remote learning, kids don't really focus on remote learning. They not focused.
And yo, what if I can't stay home with my child? What if I can't afford a babysitter? What if I don't have a relative that can stay with my child? How are you just disrupting me and my life for these migrants? How is that okay? And listen, I'm all for assisting any human that needs assistance, but not at the sake of disrupting my kids' learning and disrupting my life. And that's my taxpayer dollars that pay for the school.
Correct.
I want my kids in that school, not the migrants. I don't know how that's okay, yo.
Yeah, and heavy emphasis on they found this out day of. You know, so this wasn't, obviously because of the weather, all of a sudden, but this was like a day of, hey, guys, go learn remote.
So what if I got to go to work? I'm already getting my ass kicked, barely can pay my bills, barely can keep food on the table. Inflation is high. I have to be at work. What if I can't go to work because now I got to have my child at home to learn because y'all putting some migrants in the school? How does any elected official or anybody think that's okay? Like how? And you wonder why the rhetoric of build the wall and America first works for a lot of people. It's because of stuff like this.
And the thing is, like they said, Biden has to do something. We've been talking about this. This hasn't been the first week we discussed this. This hasn't been the first month. We've been talking about this for months. We've been seeing this issue and this problem, and there's no resolution.
Eric Adams, you can't think that's okay, yo. Eric Adams, there's nobody that should be co-signing on this, yo. You gonna let the kids stay at home and do remote learning to put 2,000 migrants into a high school?
Well, and when you make the point, you're saying, you've been talking about this. I mean, that's what Governor Abbott's, his response is in Texas, saying that Texas has been talking about this forever.
Right.
Republicans have been talking about this forever. So now that the Democrat mayors in Chicago, in New York, now have to deal with the problem, what they say, stand on business. Governor Abbott said he's going to continue to keep sending migrants to New York and Chicago.
Bingo. Stand on business. Stand on business, right? Texas has been dealing with this issue for forever. Now that it's on your doorstep, now it's a problem. Oh, it was all fine and dandy when you ain't have to deal with it. It was all, we should accept everybody. We're a sanctuary city when you didn't have to deal with it. Now you got to deal with it. Now it's all of a sudden a problem. It's a crisis. Oh my goodness. Oh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Oh man, bro, I could go off right now. I could go off right now. There's so much that I want to say. This video might have so many beeps in it. Man, my goodness. I am just I'm just utterly disgusted. And then, Charlemagne said, how could they do this? I'll tell you how they could do this, Charlemagne. It's because of people like you. It's because of people like you. People like you that have moments where they tell you the truth. Where they say Democrats don't know what the crap they're doing. But then you run right back to them and vote for them. That's why they keep doing it. That's why they do it. Because Democrats know that no matter what they do, they have convinced some of you to vote for them no matter what. Because Republican bad. That's like asking a question. If you knew your employer was never going to fire you, no matter what, at worst, your employer would suspend you for a day. If you knew that for a fact, because over the years you've watched it happen, over many, many years you've watched it happen. If you knew you were not going to be fired under any circumstances, aren't you going to show up to work late? You'll start leaving work early, missing some days here or there, going to work and not actually really doing any work. You sure would. I mean, it may not start off that way. You're going to be happy going into work. Oh, yeah, stress-free. Let's go. Let's get it. But eventually, those things will start to happen. Right? And that's Democrats. That's Democrat politicians for you. They know that there are some people like Charlemagne that will vote for them no matter what. Even in the face of seeing all this crap, they're going to still go back and vote for him. They're going to still go back and vouch for him. And even in times where they criticize Democrats, they find a way to try to criticize a Republican too. Oh man, I'm sure if I kept playing that clip longer, they would have criticized the Republican at some point. Oh well, Republicans did this though, So yeah, well, that is why, Charlemagne. That is why Democrats continue to do the crap that they do. They're literally telling you to your face, we don't give a flying F about you. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. Nothing. Not a single thing. You're going to still go back. Oh, Joe Biden. I got to pick Joe Biden because Trump a terrible, bad, no good, terrible person. Trump's the worst person on earth. How? You literally sat there and listened to a white man tell you, if you don't vote for me, then you ain't black. That should have been your what do you call it? N-word wake up call. Y'all remember Larry Elder called him out on that? He said that should have been your N-word wake up call right there when a white man sat there in your face, and told you that you weren't black if you don't support me. What did Charlemagne say? Nothing. You will sit up there and vote for a white man that called black kids roaches. Show me the instance of Trump saying that. I'll wait. You will sit there and vote for a white man that called Barack Obama the first clean, articulate, mainstream black male. Show me the clip where Trump said that. You will sit there and vote for a white man that gave the eulogy at a KKK member's funeral. Show me the instance where Trump did that. You will sit there and vote for the man. I can keep going with this stuff, y'all. I can go all day. I can keep y'all here for a long time now. Y'all got some time? Man, don't get me started. Man, I'm fired up, man. I'm fired up. I can't wait until next election. I can't wait until next election so we can end this crap. So we can end it. I'm done with it, man. Done with it. Y'all let me know what you thought about this in the comment section below. Peace and love. I'm out.